Okay, so in this problem you have two skaters who are holding onto a spring and spinning around in a circle for God knows why reason. So, using your lovely guess method, the spring constant is 650 newtons per meter. The frequency is 0.85 hertz, and your unknown is you're trying to find the mass. I'm kind of just reading this for the first time here, so okay, so your equation, the two forces that are here is one, centripetal the centripetal force, which is Fc is equal to mv squared over r, and the second one is the force of a spring, which is kind of obvious because it was given to you in the box above. So yeah, force is equal to kx, where k is the spring constant and x is the amount of stretch, which is essentially the length of the spring at whatever stretch it is. So force of spring is equal to kx. Now these two forces are equal to each other because they're the same thing essentially. So mv squared over r is equal to kx. In this case, well, you have a circle, so this is the total x. That's the distance to the spring. But on this side of the equation you have radius, and this side you have essentially diameter, but you know neither of the two, so you're going to want to have all the variables in a way that they can cancel out, be equal to each other, or are in your givens. So your diameter is equal to 2 radius, so kx would be also k to r. Now in this equation and this equation, which are the ones we are comparing, the only variable that we do not have is m, the one we are finding, and v. So what equations do you know from your formula chart, I guess, that compare velocity with frequency? Well, one that we did was velocity is equal to 2 pi r over t, and t is period, and the period is also 1 over frequency. So therefore you know that velocity is also equal to 2 pi r times frequency. And I'm going to move this over to another page now. So knowing this velocity right here, we're going to plug this velocity into the first equation. Sorry about that. 2 pi r f squared over r is equal to 2 k r. Now let's expand it. M times 4 times pi squared times r squared times f squared over r is equal to 2 k r. And now it looks like we have some serious canceling out to do. So I see this one and this one, and then this radius with the radius on the other side. I see a 2 here, so I'll change that to a 2. So now we're left with 2m pi squared f squared is equal to k. Great. now we need to isolate m because we're trying to find n. So m is equal to k over 2 pi squared f squared, I believe. So this is your working equation. M is equal to k over 2 pi squared over f squared. And now we're doing the substitution thing. M is equal to 650 newtons per meter divided by 2 times pi squared times 0.85 hertz squared. And that should give you 650 divided by 2 divided by pi squared divided by 0.85 squared, and that gives you 45.58. And the answer you want is 45.6, so I guess 10th place. 45.6 kilograms. Box your answers because your teacher sent you. And that is number 5.